A couple things. The reason why we're late is at the end of every season. You know, in our Torero culture, our Torero tradition, you know, we get close and the seniors talk. The guys who are moving on to professional baseball talk, and there's a vulnerability in young men that really comes out at times like these, and there's real feelings being shared, and that's what this thing is really about. We're in higher education and the development of young people, and the lessons learned, you know, on this baseball diamond, you know, this year and the previous years, you can't learn in a classroom, and that's why we're just, you know, in love with sport, you know, and especially, you know, USD baseball, what it represents, what it means, and what it teaches our young people. The second thing, you know, we've talked about it before. You know, adjectives really can't describe this year with the opening of Fowler Park, getting swept that weekend, bouncing back, you know, and really, you know, doing some special things, turning the season around. You know, that Saturday night at San Francisco when the peer group really took control of the team, really making a run through this deal and playing in a regional championship with 3 top 25 teams. Having a player like Kris Bryant in your program for 3 years, and especially his junior year, I consider it a once-in-a-lifetime honor. I think players like Kris come along, you know, once in a coach's career. To see the development of some of our younger players, to win a WCC championship up in the inaugural tournament. Like I said, adjectives really can't describe, you know, how special this 2013 team is in the history books of USD. I'd like to give credit to UCLA also. They're a great team. Coach Savage and his staff do a great job, and they're a juggernaut here at Jackie Robinson Stadium.
Questions?
Pat, it just seems like they took off very a lot of momentum right in the first inning. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, you know, they, you know, with Carroll laying down a good bunt, you know, really set the tone, you know, and to roll a 4 spot right away, you know, after we've been here since, you know, 11 in the morning, was challenging for our guys. But that's a microcosm of our whole season. You know, we've been behind most of the time in every game. You know, we just played through adversity, played through mistakes. And I really thought that we were going to, you know, overcome that too. But, you know, they did a great job in that first inning, and then Grant Watson, I thought, was spectacular. You know, and then their bullpen is the best in the country, and, you know, rivals any bullpen at any point in college baseball history. And they put it away. Did a great job.
Kris, can you talk about your bats this weekend? You hit the ball hard late. How are they pitching you this weekend?
I felt they were pitching me tough. You know, I didn't have the weekend I wanted to. I didn't really help my team as much as I wanted to, but you know, sometimes you have to tip your hat to the pitcher. Sometimes they make a good pitch. Sometimes they throw it 100 miles an hour. You know, but we'll see what happens in my future. You know, just kind of lost for words right now.
Michael, how tough is it to come into the game when you did? What third of an inning you come in, and obviously you know the game's on the line right away. Can you tell us about what's going through your mind at that point?
You just gotta attack. Our coaches prepare us for situations like that, put us through training that, you know, put us through a lot worse, at least mental training than that. So we've been prepared for it. You come in, you attack zone, you go out with a lot of confidence and let the ball go where it goes.
Rich, what about the job Michael did tonight, coming in, and not only how he did tonight, but would you say this was his best job this season?
He's had a lot of great outings throughout his career here at USD, leading the nation in saves last year, having some great starts this year. Had some adversity, throughout the year. Had some adversity facing left-handed hitters, throughout this year. And then tonight, bam, big game, big stage, following in the footsteps of all of our other guys. He just deals, against the top 25 team. I'm so happy for Michael Wagner, bouncing back from, adversity, persevering, working, extremely hard, and then being able to do that, against a great UCLA team was extremely gratifying and satisfying for me to watch that.
Which obviously, hindsight 2020, but if you could do it over again, do you think you would have maybe started with Michael?
Hindsight is 2020, and there's a line by Skip Bertman that I wish I could remember on that, but we knew going in that UCLA had 6 left-handed hitters. We knew that Max Homick was going to be in the game at some point. We thought that it was going to be better while he was still warm. Threw 16 pitches to end it. It was supposed to be 55 minutes before, in between games. He ran, got loose, kept his arm loose, and wanted to go a couple times around the lineup to get to Michael, who was, going to be fresh. And we were going to go to Mike, third, fourth inning, but we wanted to get through their lineup, once, maybe twice, before we got to Michael, because we really thought we had to use both guys. And if Max had sat down, and then had to get warm again, I didn't think he would have been that effective. So that was the rationale behind that. And we saw Imhoff the night before really deal against UCLA and their lefties, and we thought it was a little bit better matchup. And the other thing too, Aaron, I know this is a long answer, but the third part of that is that you cannot get behind the UCLA. You can't afford to be down by a run with these guys, because then it's Caprillion, it's Berg, it's Weiss, and it's game's over. So you want to attack these guys early, stay in the ball game, get a lead, and then deal with the other stuff late in the game. But those 3 reasons are why that we felt Max was a good option to start the game.
Rich, can you expand on what it was like to watch Kris over the last few years to become what he's become today?
Yeah, it's I've been asked that question a lot. I get interviewed, all the time, about Kris. It was a real blessing, that he chose to go to college, that his parents were convicted enough, and he was convicted enough, to make that decision. But I think, it's Jim Harbaugh's a friend of mine, and it's like when he used to describe Andrew Luck, it's the same thing. It's kind of a too good to be true story. The character thing is off the charts. He's a great student. He's a tireless worker, and physically, he's a 5-tool player. So to be able to be around that type of kid on a daily basis, again, is a blessing for a coach. But the maturity that I've seen as a player, Abby, it's been leaps and bounds. His freshman year, he's kind of a 6'5", wiry, gangly kid coming in with some holes in his swing. Really had a lot of work to do on defense. To his sophomore year, where he just kept getting better. And then this year, it's just like blossom. 31 home runs with a BB Core bat is ridiculous. The fact that he can play third base like a major leaguer now, is ridiculous. The fact that he can go first to third, second to home in the blink of an eye is ridiculous. If you put him on the warning track out in the right field and said, okay, throw this ball as hard as you can into home plate, it would be Ichiro-esque. So now you add the character and the hitability. It's, like I said, blossoming. And the scary thing is, he keeps getting better. I've watched this thing from day one to day whatever it is now. To what's it going to be like 3 years from now? When he really fills that uniform out. When he shaves more than once every 2 weeks. You know, I mean, how's that going to be? Sorry, Kris. But there's so much more in the tank. So to watch that's been, you know, it's been special.
Kris, did you get a chance afterwards to address the guys? Obviously, an emotional day for you. I was wondering if you could share it all what you said.
Yeah, I did. I just told them that it's been a fun year and that it was the best decision I made in my life to come to USD. And, I shared it with some special people and made some special friendships. And, these are people that, I can call anytime and, they'll pick up the phone. And, tonight was more than just a baseball game to me. Just looking back on the 3 years that I've had at USD, I can't even put into words how special it was. Especially with Michael Wagner and Dylan Covey, my roommates for 3 years. And they made these 3 years a whole lot of fun. We goofed around a lot in the dorm room, and I just had a lot of good memories here.
Michael, Kris, just your thoughts on the season, summing it up. Kind of seemed like you guys really turned it around in the second half. There's some satisfaction, at least, to where you guys got.
Yeah, it was exciting to see what we could do. It didn't start out how we wanted to. We obviously didn't want that first weekend to start how it did, but and once we had our team meeting after our game against USF, things really turned around and it turned into something special. Something we wanted to keep going with. And it sucks to see it end tonight, but it's something you can always be happy to look back on. You're a part of.
I thought the season had a lot of bumps, but we overcame a lot of them. I think I like to focus on the positives of what happened, and we won the WCC championship. We made it to the championship game in a regional. I know that's not what we wanted, but I don't think USD has ever gotten that far. So, this group of guys is special, and it's just been a fun year for all of us.
You obviously had a lot of respect for UCLA.
Yeah.
It wasn't so long ago, they were kind of where you guys are at, where you're right there, couldn't quite get the cut of in that regional.
Right.
Is there anything that you kind of learned from them and to kind of get you guys, what do you have to do to get to that point?
Host 4 straight regionals. That would be a start. But what Coach Savage does, the people don't see, is that he is a relentless recruiter. He's out everywhere. He's extremely bright, hardworking, organized, and they've got this thing dialed in. Would we like to compare ourselves to UCLA? We'd be flattering ourselves. They do such a great job. We recruit a lot of the same kids. There's a very academic background, to kids on both sides in both dugouts tonight. And with our new ballpark, Aaron, I think this is going to become a reality. To continually, strengthen our RPI. Our administration's made a commitment to scheduling and to getting us, into super regionals and a College World Series in Omaha.
Coach, how much of a difference did Louis' defense make this weekend? He threw out a guy at third today. Yesterday, he had a big play to kill a rally. And how hard is it going to be to replace him out there?
Well, I think he's a junior, right?
Well, if he comes back.
Yeah, if we're planning on him coming back. If he gets drafted in, it makes sense, for him to go and forego his senior year, which at USD is, significant, because of the education and everything else. He will be tough to lose as a defensive center fielder. He's one of the best in college baseball. He loves to play center field, man. That's his thing. But he's roaming all over the place out there, as you guys saw. I thought the play that he made yesterday was one of the best plays I've ever seen in my life. 26 years of coaching, where he dove for that ball and dropped it. Had the athleticism to get up, pick the ball up, and throw a one-hop to home plate, and it is. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Throwing a guy out of third, but yeah, special defensive player, very gifted.
Any more questions?
Coach, I know you cited your Calhoun days, but how truly difficult was it to make the turnaround on the third day of the regional and play a team like UCLA?
It's extremely challenging. That's why you want to avoid the losers bracket. Like I said, our guys are on the field. We left the hotel today at 10:55, and I don't know what time it is now. It's about 11 hours later. And it's not each game, each pitch is emotion filled. You've got a Cal Poly team that's a top 25 team, and every single at bat, is of consequence. Every pitch is of consequence. You're using a bunch of pitchers, a bunch of pinch hitters, and then you got to come right back and beat a team like UCLA. In 2008, we did it. We beat Vance Worley in Long Beach State. When they had Espinoza and Brian Shaw and Shane Peterson and all those guys, and we came back and beat the eventual national champion Fresno State handily. So it can be done. UCLA just was better tonight.